There aren't many duos that get as many compliments as Jonathan and Charlotte did when they performed on Britain's Got Talent. Both the judges and the viewers were blown away by how well the two matched each other in the show. What made Jonathan and Charlotte's partnership work so well was their friendship behind the scenes and their deep loyalty to each other, especially since it didn't look like they would make a good pair at first. A great singing pair. Most people who criticize the two say that Jonathan's powerful and dramatic tenor is better suited to more complicated singing styles like opera, and Charlotte's warm and honeyed singing voice is perfect for Weston's show-stopping dreams. However, when put together, the two sound amazing, like fire and water, and this really shone through in their Britain's Got Talent audition. What have they been up to since the show? Join us as we find out what really happened between Kate and Jonathan from Britain's Got Music. A twist of fate brings together talented people. Charlotte Janelle and Jonathan Antoine were both born in Chigwell, Essex, England. Jonathan has an older sister whose parents are married. Charlotte's parents split up a year before she met Jonathan. Charlotte has said in the past that she felt like she had to grow up quickly because of her situation and that she hated having to choose between her parents, so she stayed with both of them on different days. During this time, she had grown to love music after her mother put her in stage school classes when she was younger. Jonathan, meanwhile, was learning as many musical notes as he could. When he started middle school at West Hat High School, he met mentors like Jeanette Brown and Jenny Ewington. The two studied music at the same high school and with the same teacher, but they didn't think about working together until they were paired up by the teacher, Jenny Ewington, their school's singing coach. Interestingly, they were paired together to sing for the song not at school but at their music teacher Jeanette Brown's wedding. Mrs. Brown said she chose the pair for both her wedding and their GCSEs because she thought it showed off their talents the best. It was a shock for her to see the pair on her telly years later. They continued to sing as a duo for years after that before making an appearance on the stage of America's Got Talent with Jonathan. Charlotte was studying musical theatre full-time at the Arts Educational Schools, London, and Jonathan was studying classical music part-time as a junior at the Royal Academy of Music. When Charlotte and Jonathan first walked onto the Britain's Got Talent stage in the 6th season, they got a bad reaction from the judges. In fact, many people said that the judges' initial dislike of the pair reminded them of how they felt about contestant Susan Boyle, and maybe this was because of that. It was like old times again since Susan Boyle went on to become a worldwide icon. The pair sang their practice classic The Prayer at their audition, which got them a lot of praise. The judges were very impressed with the duo, but one judge, Simon Cowell, said something more controversial. He told Jonathan to break up with Charlotte because he thought she had a better voice. The couple stayed together, but they changed their name from Charlotte and Jonathan to Jonathan and Charlotte. During the show, the duo stayed strong and eventually proved Simon wrong when they sang Caruso as a duet in the semi-finals. According to Simon, his first thought that Charlotte was holding Jonathan back was wrong and that she actually complimented him really well. In an interview later, Charlotte said that she was disappointed with Simon because she thought he would be scarier, but she thought he was really cool and lovely. All of this praise, however, did not manage to make Simon feel better. Charlotte and Jonathan won the final, but Ashley and Pudsey, a dancing dog act, came in second place. In 2012, not long after their time on Britain's Got Talent, the duo were ready to move on to a bigger and better stage. It was clear that they had what it takes to be successful, as is the case with most acts who have that trait. Soon after the show ended, Simon Cowell swooped in with a crazy record deal for the two of them. Jonathan and Charlotte were offered $1 million recording deal they signed with the label with the condition that they would both do some musical theater soon. Their first album together came out on September 24, 2012 in the UK and on October 30, 2012 in the US. It had both new songs and covers, including The Prayer they sang at their first audition and in the final. They also worked with producer Graham Stack, who was behind the first 3 albums of X Factor opera stars G4. The public loved the album so much that it peaked at number 5. The UK albums chart just 2 days after it came out. Soon after the album came out, an ITV documentary followed the young teens' rise to fame. The documentary went into great detail about their personalities and backgrounds. The two were still teenagers when the documentary was made, and they were given the chance to study music in Italy and France while talking to some of the world's best musicians. not done making music together yet, and put out another record called Perhaps Love a year later. The album was mostly the same as their last album but with more unpredictable parts, and it topped the UK charts at number 5. It was also the album that started to show them becoming different as artists, as each had their own solo songs on it, and just a short year later, fans' fears that they were breaking up were realized. Based on how they usually break up, you might expect a dramatic split. In the music business, things like this do happen, but Jonathan and Charlotte, who are known for being calm, could not have been more amicable in their breakup. After Sony Classical offered them each a $1 million solo record deal, they decided to put out a joint statement to acknowledge their impending split. Fans were very sad when they heard that the two were breaking up, but it was an exciting chance to see what they would be like without each other. Charlotte was the first to release the album Solitaire came out in June 2014 and got mostly good reviews. During the press tour for the album, she talked about how she wanted to move on to musicals and West End shows. In 2018, she graduated from arts at one of London's best drama schools and made her debut at the West End as part of the original UK cast. The singer began as a member of the original group of the RSC show The Boy in the Dress, which she was set to perform at the Royal Bath Theatre. Charlotte played Florida in their production of Into the Woods from August 17 to September 10. During all of this, she has been a strong supporter of body positivity and representation in the entertainment industry, and she recently called for HR help for theatre performers. She keeps her fans up to date on what's going on in her life through her social media accounts. The more generally successful half of the pair, Jonathan Antoine, has made progress in both his personal and business life since he broke up with Charlotte, but the two don't talk much anymore because he said in an interview that he would be open to getting back together with his old friend. A few months after Charlotte released Solitaire, Jonathan released his album Tenor, which included some classic songs as well as Aris. The album got great reviews and made him a star in his own right. Soon after, in 2016, he released his second album, which got even better reviews, and a few years later he played his first solo concert in the United States. Jonathan has performed at many concerts since then, but one of the most memorable was a 3-part concert in Canada called Beyond the Curtain, where he sang Disney songs. He has also started a recording project with artist Cher for an album he was working on with Diane Warren called By Request: The Diane Warren Songbook Volume 1. As for his personal goals, one of the biggest ways he decided to change was by changing his body after a long and hard time. A weight loss journey that got a lot of attention from the media. Jonathan lost more than 50 pounds, which he says he did for his health and not to look good in front of other people. Both Charlotte and Jonathan seem to be doing well in their chosen creative fields, but it makes us miss their friendship. Who knows, maybe one day they'll be able to get back together for good.